Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. We are back with NCAA football for the 2027 season. So this is going to be episode 5 where we will be doing the promotions relegations as well as the conference championship game. And the next episode will be the playoffs. But first, this is our second to last episode before we will take a break from NCAA promotion relegation and just NCAA 2025 in general until 2026 comes out a little bit later in about a month or two. So we're just going to take a little bit of a break here. Hopefully try to win the Natty since we haven't won it at all. And so let's go over some stats. So first off, we have the SEC, the top of the division. The top of the division was Florida, going 9-3. And a pretty fun fact about Florida is that they've stayed atop the SEC 3 years in a row with back-to-back first places. And in 2025, they were second place, and then they were middle of the road in 2024. But they stay atop at 9-3. That's one of their lowest records, though. Michigan 8-4, also got second place, rank 18th. At 8-4, so Florida, for topping the best team in the division, only barely missed out on the playoffs, unfortunately. So hopefully we'll be able to get it next time. Georgia 7-5, Penn State 7-5, Clemson 6-6, LSU 6-6, Ole Miss and Oregon all 6-6 as well. USC, Alabama 5-7, Miami 5-7, Kansas 1-11. And with that, Michigan got promoted out of the Pac-12 in 2024 and Big 12 in 2025 before going to 6-6 in 2026. And now they are second place in the SEC. So they have a pretty big gap that they've covered over there. And then Kansas gets relegated at 1-11, and Alabama holds out with a better conference record, meaning Miami gets relegated. All right, and then in the Big 12, we have Oklahoma topping the list at 10-2, ranked 1. North Carolina ranked 10-2. Washington just getting knocked out of relegation or promotion, ranked 7, 9-3. Unfortunately for them, because a very high third place. Colorado 7-5, Kansas State 7-5, Florida State 7-5, Maryland 6-6, Arkansas and Missouri 5-7, Texas A&M 4-8, Georgia State 2-10, and Indiana 1-11. So with that, that means North Carolina and Oklahoma handily get promoted to the SEC. North Carolina got relegated last season, but they were back after their first year in the Big 12. Oklahoma went 9-3 in back-to-back years before going to the Big Top from the Big Pac-12. 3 promotions in a row for Oklahoma. And then where we started it all, besides Navy, Georgia State gets relegated after barely hanging on in the Big 12 the past 3 years. They got it basically third to last place. And Indiana was promoted last season from the Pac-12 going 11-1. Now the record's flipped and they get relegated. Yeah, so they went 11-1 to get promoted, and now they're at the bottom. Crazy. Makes me feel like the promotion relegation is a legit thing that happens where the top teams, man, of how it's going so far. Then in the Pac-12, we have some really strong teams. Auburn, ranked 5, went 11-1. Boise State, ranked 9, went 10-2. Michigan State, ranked 8, went 10-2. NC State, ranked 14, went 10-2. Utah, ranked 16, went 9-3. And Syracuse, ranked 20, went 9-3. Texas, 8-4. West Virginia, 7-5. UCLA, South Carolina, and Mississippi State all went 5-7, and Wake Forest went 3-9. So with that, after almost getting relegated last season, Auburn gets promoted at the top of their division. And then 3 other teams are up for promotion, including back-to-back promoter Boise State, because they got promoted in 2025 and 2026. But Michigan State has the better conference record, unfortunately, for Boise State, so they are promoted. Then after being in the middle of the pack since 2024, it's finally time for Utah and South Carolina to be relegated. Yeah, so they've held on 3 years in a row in the Pac-12 before they finally get relegated. And Boise State just getting knocked out from that, as well as NC State, unfortunately for them. Even though NC State was doing so good, they were undefeated pretty much the whole time. And they lost the last 2 games of the season, so now they're ranked 14 and knocked out of the playoff as well. Next is the Big Ten. Texas Tech, number 2, we're 12-0. Cincinnati, ranked 11, 11-1. Ohio State, 8-4. Notre Dame and Iowa, 7-5. Toledo, Florida Atlantic, 6-6. San Jose State, 5-7. Oklahoma State, 4-8. UNLV, 3-9. Louisiana, 2-10. And Rice, 1-11. And with that, Texas Tech was promoted in 2025, then went undefeated in the past 2 seasons to get another back-to-back promotion to the Pac-12. Cincinnati also gets promoted after getting 3rd to 4th place since 2024. Yeah, so in the Big Ten, they were third. They were basically just getting not enough wins to get through. And then Louisiana gets hit with back-to-back relegations, and Rice is relegated once again and follows the same format, where they got second place in 2024 and then got relegated, and then they got second place in 2026, and now they're relegated once again. So Rice is struggling for sure. And seeing some of these of like how many relegations they get, it definitely gives me ideas on who I want to play for the 2026 game. Even though the promotions relegations are definitely going to be a bit different, it's essentially going to reset since it's only going to be we're going to have a lot of the old players back. since it'll be a new year, and we're not going to skip through it because we don't want to ruin it too much. And that's the top flight. So Texas Tech is now in the top 3 divisions, and now we go back to the AC. So this is the first of our secondary league. TCU tops the division at 11-1 with rank 3. Kentucky ranked 22, 9-3. Iowa State ranked 23, 9-3. So already going to be pretty close for who gets ranked up. Oregon State, North Texas, and Louisville all 8-4, and then we go down to the middle grounds: Southern Mississippi and Baylor 6-6, San Diego State and BYU 5-7, and then Northern Illinois and Navy 2-10. So another one of our OG teams, Navy, unfortunately gets relegated. Navy, where we played our first series, they get relegated in the back-to-back years, and North Illinois gets relegated after almost being last season. And then after getting third last season, TCU is promoted, and Iowa State is promoted after getting fourth last season. So basically, they were next in line to get promoted, which is nice for them. And then in the American, we have a pretty middle-of-the-ground one. Tennessee 9-3, top in the division. South Alabama and Stanford 8-4. Arizona 7-5. SMU, Illinois, Tulsa, Northwestern, UCF, and Arizona State 6-6. A lot of those. And Virginia Tech 3-9 and Rutgers 1-11. So at least the overall promotions and relegations were pretty easy. So Tennessee gets promoted after almost being relegated last season, and Stanford continues dominating with yet another promotion, sneaking by and being promoted 4 years in a row. Stanford's our highest record so far for promotions. They've been promoted 4 times since 2024, and it's all been about second or third place. They haven't really topped the division just yet, but they are steadily dominating. And then Virginia Tech only had 1 loss in 2025 before being middle of the pack in 2026, and then finally getting relegated at 3-9. And then Rutgers continues falling. They are relegated 3 years in a row, only having 4 wins the past 3 seasons, and they're one of our lowest records as well as along with Rice. So the R teams, man. Then in the Sun Belt, Wisconsin, ranked 4, goes undefeated. The only other undefeated team this season at 12-0, so they are automatically promoted. And that's back-to-back promotions for them because they got promoted last season with Sam Houston, so they're going on a tear. And Tulane also sneaks by and gets promoted back to the American after their 2025 relegation. So unfortunately, that means that ranked 12 Tulane gets promoted at 11-1. And ranked 15 Sam Houston, they lost that last game of the season going 9-3. They were so close to promotion, but not in the cards for them. Hopefully they can get in next year. California 7-5, Boston College, UAB, and USF 5-7. Washington State, Duke, and Ohio and Hawaii 4-8. And then Central Michigan 2-10. So Hawaii has the worst conference record and points record and gets relegated 2 seasons in a row. And Central Michigan has been middle of the pack since 2024, barely staying alive in the Sun Belt before finally getting relegated. And in the CUSA, Pittsburgh handily takes the top. Ranked 6 goes 11-1. Nebraska ranked 17 goes 10-2. East Carolina ranked 19 goes 9-3. Purdue 8-4. Houston 8-4 got ranked 25. Georgia Tech 6-6. Charlotte, Old Dominion 5-7, Arkansas State and Minnesota 4-8, and Virginia and Air Force bottoming out 1-11. And that means that Nebraska gets back-to-back promotions, and Pittsburgh finally gets promoted after being in the top 4 since 2024, barely missing out on promotion, but they finally get it at the top of the division. Then Air Force gets back-to-back relegated, and Virginia gets relegated after being middle of the pack since 2024 and barely staying alive in the CUSA. And then some fun ones in the MWC. We have Coastal Carolina topping out 9-3 with ranked 21 Akron close behind at 9-3. Coastal Carolina had a better conference record, though, which is why they're at the top. Then Ball State, Colorado State, 8-4. Miami University, James Madison, Buffalo, and UTEP, 6-6. Liberty, 5-7. Florida National, 3-9. UMass, 3-9. And then Army, 1-11. So Akron is promoted back-to-back seasons, and Coastal Carolina is promoted after being middle of the pack last year. Then Buffalo and UTEP have the worst of the 6-6 records, and are relegated after being top of the independent last year. Then Liberty, FIU, UMass, and Army bottom out and are relegated. Army is relegated 2 years in a row, this time all the way down to independent. So like I mentioned before in the previous ones, the top 2 are promoted in MWC, the middle 2 are relegated 1 to MAC, and then the bottom 4 are relegated 2 to independent. Then the MAC, we have UConn steadily destroying everybody else, ranked 24, 10-2. Bowling Green 9-3, so we have our top 2 easy peasy. Kent State and UL Monroe 7-5. Eastern Michigan, Jacksonville State, and Georgia Southern 6-6. Vanderbilt and Nevada 5-7. Marshall 4-8. Temple 3-9. New Mexico 2-10. And that means that UConn tops and is promoted, and Bowling Green is also promoted back-to-back seasons. Nevada, Marshall, Temple, and New Mexico are all relegated. Marshall and Temple are relegated in back-to-back years. Sorry, boys. And this time all the way back down. And then our independent, we have Fresno State 9-3, Texas Tech State 8-4. Then we have Mid-10, Memphis and Wyoming 7-5. Troy, New Mexico State, Louisiana Tech 6-6. Western Kentucky 5-7, UTSA, Appalachian State, Utah State, Kennesaw State, UTSA, all 4-8, and then Western Michigan 2-10 to bottom out the independent. So starting us off, we have Fresno State, Texas State, Memphis and Mid-10 are all promoted to MWC. Memphis and Mid-10 were relegated last season, but they skip a conference this time. So they were relegated to the MAC, or they were relegated from the MAC to independent, and now they get to skip the MAC all the way straight to the MWC with a better record. And then Fresno State goes back after being relegated to independent in 2026. So Fresno State got relegated all the way out of the MWC, and now they go back to the MWC in their first year back. Then Wyoming, Louisiana Tech, New Mexico State, and Troy are all promoted to the MAC tier, so one above. And that's all of the 2027 season changes. So very exciting as we get into it. And I also did something fun where I did the wins and losses for all the conferences. So in 2024, the winningest conference was the Independent with 92 wins to 76 losses, and the Sun Belt and the MAC were both the losing teams. They had 72 wins, 72 losses, 72 wins, 72 losses. So I just thought I would do something fun like that, of who has basically the highest wins. And then in the 2025 season, the Big 12 was the top with 75 wins to 69 losses. The Pac-12 was the weakest with 70 wins to 74 losses, so they had overall a losing record. Then in the 2026 season, we had the MAC was the losing with 70 wins to 74 losses. The Independent topped at 91 wins to 77 losses. And then in the second place, we had the Big 12 with 75 wins to 69 losses. And then in this season, 2027, Independent was 79 wins to 89 losses, so definitely a lot weaker. They didn't have any 10-win teams and barely only had one 9-win team. It's mostly 4-8s for them. And then the Pac-12 topped. They had 88 wins to 52 losses. They absolutely stomped. Like, there was pretty much a lot of good teams this year for the Pac-12, which is pretty crazy. Having basically everybody else not even close compared to all the previous years. So that's going to do it for all those promotions relegations. Very exciting to see. Let's get into our conference game, and we will play some football. That's where we're against 11-1 Cincinnati, which I really am going to be sad if we win, even though I kind of want to throw the game, but I don't want to get knocked out of the playoffs, But I know for a fact if we beat Cincinnati, they're going to be knocked out of playoff picture, which will be very annoying. Because right now, they're barely in at ranked 11. So this is our current picture. We have Oklahoma, Wisconsin, Texas Tech, and Pittsburgh. Then we have Tulane, TCU, Boise State, Michigan State, Cincinnati, Auburn, North Carolina, and Washington. So I really hope everybody can make it in. And this is a good one. And we also try to look at to see what would happen if somebody loses, if Sam Houston can get in or NC State. But with our current rankings, I don't think it'll end up being the case. But Florida's is onwards looking in as well. So we'll just let it take the wheel, basically, and not going to really worry about it. So let's just play against Cincinnati. Keeps it easier this way, not worrying about it. Let's return it first. So Cincinnati is 86 overall, 87 offense, 86 defense. So they're going to be a tough one. Ooh, UConn beat Bowling Green 35-13. Nice. Nice. Pretty good run. Oklahoma won. Pittsburgh beat Nebraska 30-17. I don't think Sam Houston was the conference game because they're not the top. It was Tulane that was the top. So that's why we can't really worry about this game because Sam Houston won't make it. Yeah, Oklahoma handily beat North Carolina 42. Wow, Tulane upset Wisconsin 38-20. That's crazy. So that means Wisconsin is no longer undefeated. Oh man, that sucks. I thought we would have, I guess technically for the regular season they're undefeated, but unfortunately for them. And Auburn beat Michigan State 42-35. So a lot of the other ones are that, but of course the only undefeated team got knocked out. That's unfortunate. But that was a pretty good catch. Good job, Tyson Turner. Yeah, he was our best boy last week. Started us off with a run play, get his rushing yards back after kind of pushing off him for a little bit here lately. We're going to see if we can sneak anybody in the playoffs though. But right now we just got to focus on Cincinnati. They're our conference rival. No matter what, they'll get promoted, which is nice. It's just unfortunate that we had to play them instead of... Oh my god, that was holy crap, that's insane. That bump off, man. Oh, dude, that was gross. That sucks. I think their only loss is to us, right? Or did they beat... Yeah, because they couldn't beat us because they were undefeated. So they have a 95 overall quarterback, so the same as us. 89 overall secondary, and then 80 overall junior. Wow, so 2 seniors. That dude got wrecked. Sorry, man. You would have been a great option. Then halfback, they have a 95 overall Manny Covey. Then 82 freshman, 79 freshman, 78 junior. Fullback, 85 Wide receiver 91, junior 89, 89, 84, 84, 82. Oh man, they're stacked. Then tight end 83, 85, 75. Then even their left tackles. What about their defensive players? 84, 71, 91, 72, 79. Also, their right outside linebacker is not as good. And their kicker 84 overall. Nice. Yeah, so they have a pretty good overall team. That's why they're about tied with us, but they have a slightly better overall team at like 85 and 86. All right, looks like we throw back-to-back interceptions. So Anthony White intercepted for 58 yards. Thank you, sir. He's on our team. So we swap picks and puts us in great field position. Thank you again, Anthony White. I appreciate it, sir. I think that's his first interception on the season. Oh, he came out of nowhere. Yeah, they have a lot of star defenders on their side. So student inside zone to the left. Yeah, the right side's their weaker side, but we're not going to risk it. We're just going to try to get behind our main boys. Try to get this touchdown with number 22. Let's do a nice little stick play. 3rd and 3, so we're kind of basically just do a little bit of a short pass as much as possible. Oh, right there, 86. Tyson Turner. Boom, touchdown, baby. Perfect. Thank you, sir. All right, we're on the board first, and then they punt to as the usually got sacked for 5-yard loss. Perfect. Good job, team. See, and then we'll also look at the stats after this game as well, after the conference game, just to make sure. Ooh, right there, wide open. Oh, he had that one. Sorry, Tyson. See if we can get a shocking option to Belson, maybe. One of our favorite plays. See if their defense is strong enough. Oh, their defense is pretty good. Oh, let's just turn around. Oh, good coverage. Didn't even turn around, but still enough to block it. Let's do a slot drive to the left. See if we can get Turner again in the middle. Our favorite receiver lately. Right there, Turner. Wide open. Hold on to it. There you go, sir. Perfect. That's what we like to see, man. He's one of our favorite slot boys right there. And right there. Man, he came quick. He sprinted for that deflection. Yeah, that's a struggle. 2nd and 10. 2nd and 10. Let's try to get some yards back. Let's do a halfback dive. The middle. Let's do an anger. Get there, man. Get beyond 33. There we go. Nope. 33 block coverage right as we walked up to him. Come on. All right, they're finally on the board as well with a touchdown. So pass to Grevin Gover for a 7-yard touchdown, and an extra point is good. Okay, so we got a score right here. They're definitely keeping it interesting. 49 seconds left in the second, so we got a score right here because we returned it first. B's wide open. If he can get past those defenders, yep. Got his hand in there. Yeah, number 19 strong. 3 and 10 right now. If we lose though. That's fine. Dickey, there we go. Hold on to it, sir. There you go, perfect. Yeah, we try to go for that fumble. Let's do a flood halfback swing. Let's do a post cross. I can't. Don't go too crazy with it. X right there, wide open. Beat your man. Nope. Double covered. Yeah, that was my bad. I tried to risk it for the biscuit. Dang. All right, let's just play some defense in the last 20 seconds of the second. Threw 2 interceptions already, 1 in each quarter. So hopefully we can lessen that up by a lot more. Take him down. Take him down. Dang. Are they going to call that timeout or just let the clock run? They're going to let the clock run. There you go, boys. Get to him. There we go. Perfect. Let's call timeout just for fun. See if we can get a fumble or something to end it off. Or they'll probably score right here and that'll make me laugh. Because that'll just be my comeuppance for doing that. Stop him. A flag. What's that flag? Nice. Intercepted. I don't know if the interception will count though. Alright, so 50-yard punt to start us off in the second half. And also that interception did count. That ended off the half. So just hope for the best. Let's try to score right here, boys. Our defense held out and we played with them. Try to get out of this end zone. Oh, give me that block. Ah, dang. Not enough. That's okay. 5 for 25 is not too terrible. And 97 yards last season, or last week. Their defense is so good. Give me that block 65. There we go. Perfect. First down. That's what we love to see. Thank you, sir. Good block. Good block. All right, let's do a slant. Try to get some yards. Try to get out of this end zone. Try to fit to West, maybe. Their inside zone coverage is so good because they can get deflections so easily. Yeah, like that. Dang. We have to throw it pretty much to completely empty back. There's going to be no way to get them the ball otherwise. There we go. There we go. Perfect. We just need to just bend it. Alright, let's do an overgo. See if we can get anybody open. As long as there's nobody around them, then I think they can catch it. Let's get off. There you go, Tyson. 19, he has such great hands, man. We can always get in front of the ball. That's the issue. Let's do play action read. Let's get somebody open, please. Right there. Wide open. Stay in bounds. There you go. I just had to pull him back a little bit to get him in. Perfect. Let's do drive. I think west again. Or at least try to west. Oh, it's number 6 actually. Hold on to it. He held on. Thank you. Great hands. Alright, let's do play action crossers. Okay, who wants it? B wants it if you can get in front of him. Oh, I thought that was intercepted. They both had the ball on as it tossed around. Do inside zone, try to get some yards back. Please try to get into field goal range. Alright, 78, I'm coming to you. There you go. Oh, perfect coverage, boys. We like to see. Alright, let's just run that one again. Let's try to see if we can get that first down. 32. We're at least in field goal range, but it's pretty good. We're pretty even in the middle as well. Oh, nice. 65 with that last minute block, taking us in front. Perfect. Let's do play action double post. Still going to be a tough one, even if we score right here. They might try to make us go for 2. There's nobody open. Yeah. They want to take that sack, but didn't see anybody. Alright, let's do a shock instruction. Try to at least get some yards back with Turner or Inger. Inger or Dickey. Ooh, Dickey. Hold on to it. Dang, that dive deflection. Are we out of field goal range now too? Yeah, we are. Crap. Alright, we're going for that blitz, so if anybody can get open, I would greatly appreciate it, Tyson. Oh my gosh, that deflection again. We're just gonna go for it. I'll go, baby. I don't care. We already have a terrible field position. Right there. Catch it. Oh my god, number 18, touchdown on 4th and 21. That's so beautiful. Thank you, sir. Here's that thumbnail, baby. You saved our game. All right, and a turnover to end off the third quarter, so we get the ball back starting with the 4th. So our defense held out. Thank you, boys. Let's try to see if we can run out this clock. So we can at least score one more, but we don't want to go too crazy with it. This is when I usually botch it. We've already thrown 2 interceptions, so we saved ourselves in the third quarter from not getting intercepted again. That's why we're just gonna hope for the best. Hold on to it. Thank you, Dickey. All right, do another inside zone to the right. There you go. Good. Nice. Keep fighting. Perfect, Inger. Alright, so an outside zone. That will turn into a nice little inside zone. We'll keep running the balls with Inger. Ooh, almost got that, but we got some. Ooh, nice stiff arm from Inger. Perfect. 2nd and inches. Great run. Alright, let's do a nice little halfback dive up the middle. Try to get 100 yards for him for this conference game. Yeah, they're going for that blitz, so we're just going to hope that our boys can hold out. Thank you. Perfect. That's all we needed. We've already gone through 1 minute, so we'll just keep running. Sorry, we're playing a little scumbaggy, but we don't want to throw it that hard. 2nd and 7. Okay, let's switch it up with a pass play. Let's do a nice little play action side to the left. Alright, Turner. Johnson Jr. also got that massive touchdown last time. So we'll see if he can get open. Oh yeah, Johnson. He's faster. Oof, almost intercepted by number 19. 19's always been in the way, man. He's playing so great, getting all those deflections. One time he botched it, that was when we scored. So as long as he keeps botching it, then I think we can score. Turner with that cut. Oh, not enough. Dang. Okay. Yeah, we'll let Slaughter field goal it. Field goal is good. 41 yards for Slaughter. Thanks. I think he could make a 50-yarder, but I digress. Cincinnati follows it up. Oh, intercepted by Isaiah Collins for 88 yards. Isaiah Collins, thank you, sir. Yeah, I think he's one of our better defenders this season as well. That's like his 2nd or 3rd interception. Oh, 88 yards because I think it was a kneel and a touchback. Good job. I think that's going to do it for us then. So we'll just keep running out the clock and just having some fun with it. Sorry, boys. Cincinnati will go down. Going for that blitz. Oh, he's holding on. Inger's holding on. Staying still on his feet. Not enough. 3rd and 14, actually. They might get the ball back. That was great coverage. The coach really wants us to run it, but it's only 3rd and 14, man. We gotta convert. Okay, we're gonna risk it for the biscuit. We're gonna do a southeast dig. To Dickey, I guess. He's the only one. Oh, Dickey's wide open. Sorry, boys. Game's over. Try to go for that blitz, but Dickey's too fast off the scrimmage. Kind of scumbaggy, but sorry, boys. Nice job. Dickey with 116 yards in this game. Alright, stats-wise, 9 of 24 for 220 yards, 37 complete rating, 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Not a great overall game for us, but still won. Cincinnati, 14 of 26, 205 yards, 53 complete rating, 1 touchdown, 3 interceptions. Yeah, sorry, dude. And then rushing for Cincinnati, they went 10 of 40, 7 of 6 with their quarterback, Texas Tech. 16 of 90, and then 1 of -11 for Jake Strong. Receiving, we had 4 for 53, 3 for 116, 1 for 33, and also that touchdown that kept us in the game, and then 1 for 18. So our top 3 boys, we all got them a touchdown. And in Cincinnati, 5 for 91, 331, 361, 18, 17, 17. And then defensively for Cincinnati, we had 1 sack by Troy Regovich, and then those 2 interceptions, all were by Zay Johnson, number 14. Number 19, though, was also a great person to have on defense as well. And our number defense, we had 2 sacks by Braylon Rigsby, 2 sacks by Justin Horn, and 1 sack by Dingle Jr. And then intercepted by Isaiah Collins, Anthony White, and Marcus Ramon Edwards. Great job, boys. Great job. And then, of course, Eric Slaughter hit that field goal that kept us alive as well. So we end off the conference championship victory. And there we go, as Big Ten champions. Kind of wish we would have lost, to be honest, but we didn't want to botch it. Just wanted to see if Cincinnati would have made it or not. Let's see how that changes things up going into the playoffs. Justin Horn, left outside linebacker, Big Ten Defensive Player of the Week with 5 tackles, 2 tackles for loss, and 2 sacks. Nice. And then Cameron Dickey, tight end, with Big Ten Offensive Player of the Week, Week 15 versus Cincinnati. And maybe I could have made him the thumbnail, but I decided on Johnson. And Scheme Guru unlocked. Nice. Yeah, all these upgrades, it's going to be unfortunate trying to go into the next one with all those differences. All right, and we already know Wisconsin lost. Let's see how the rest of the CFP bracket turned out. So we went down 2 ranks after beating number 12 Cincinnati. And then TCU 43-41 against Louisville. Auburn goes from 5-2 by beating number 10 Michigan State 42-35. Oklahoma stays at number 1 after going 42-28 versus number 11 North Carolina. Pittsburgh moves up by 1 after beating number 17 Nebraska 30-28. Washington goes up by 1 just by being Washington, even though they have 3 losses. They shouldn't have been in the playoffs, to be honest. Wisconsin goes down by 3 after losing to number 9 Tulane 38-20. They're no longer undefeated, but they stay in the playoffs. Boise State goes up by 1 just by beating Boise State. Tulane goes up from 12-9 after being Wisconsin 38-20. Still funny that they didn't switch rankings or anything like that. Michigan goes down by 2 after losing to number 2 Auburn 42-35. North Carolina goes down by 1 after losing to number 1 Oklahoma 42-28. Then Cincinnati goes down by 1 after losing to number 4 Texas Tech 24-7. So it looks like they're keeping everybody in basically the top 12 didn't change. It's still that ranking, just the seeding is different. And then Sam Houston went down by 1 just because they wanted to push Utah up, unfortunately. That's annoying. And then Nebraska lost to number 5 Pittsburgh 30-28, so they don't get to steal their playoff spot. Then Akron beat 45-27 Coastal Carolina. Then UConn went down by 1, but still stay in the rankings, beating Bowling Green 35-13. So UConn should be. UConn better should have been in the playoffs instead of Washington, to be honest. Everybody else seems pretty decent. I don't know, NC State should be in instead of Washington. That's what's annoying for me. All right, and then our final playoff bracket before we end off this episode. Cincinnati number 12 against number 5 Pittsburgh. I really hope Cincinnati makes it because it'd be fun to play against them again in the conference. Their only 2 losses, I think, are against us both times. And Tulane number 9 versus number 8 Boise State. North Carolina number 11 versus Washington number 6. Michigan State number 10 against Wisconsin number 7. Then Texas Tech with the first round bye. Oklahoma number 1 first round bye. TCU first round bye at number 3. And then Auburn ranked 2 with their first round bye. So Wisconsin gets knocked down from 2nd to 7th, which is pretty crazy. That's the only thing that's really changed. Everything else is mostly the same, just seating is slightly different. Oh, I didn't even realize that the national championship in Houston would have been so fantastic. Sam Houston's different, but it would have been so great to have them in the same kind of area. Yeah, so it would have been probably a lot better for Sam Houston for me to play them one more year, but we got too excited. I didn't realize that it was going to be my final one for this. So awkward. Could have, but would have been a lot more interesting to have them be in their natty in their home state. But my bad. We'll get them next time. All right, so that's going to be our playoff bracket. So let's look at some ending season stats real quick, just because I'm curious. The rating the season with Jake Strong, 3,502 yards, 146 to 304, 43 touchdowns to 25 interceptions, garbage. 48 completion rating, 269.4, 175 rating, 11.5 average yards, 91 long, 13 sacks, 13 games played, 530 downs played. Okay, not too bad. And then rushing with our favorite boy, 200 for 1260. Nice, that's a nice even number. 6.3, 14 touchdowns, 91 broken tackles, no fumbles, perfect. The Jake Strong, 2004, nice. And then receiving, 59 to 1359 for Tyson Turner as our top boy. Then we have 2563, 22554, 2472, 13313, 10227, 11212. Then our top touchdowns as well for Tyson Turner, 266523, and then 1 for Bofili. And then defensively, our best boy had 10.5 sacks for Braylon Rigsby. Then we have 9 for Justin Horn, 8.5 from Miguel Dingle Jr., 4.5 for Amir Washington, 2 for John Curry, 1 for Peyton Morgan, and then 0.5 for Caraway. Then interceptions, we had 3 for Peyton Morgan. Great job, sir. 2 for Marcus Raymond Edwards, 2 for Miles Thompson, 2 for Isaiah Collins, 2 for Javian Wilcox, 1 for Anthony White, 1 for John Curry. Nice. So we just need Rigsby to get an interception. That'd be pretty fantastic, but he's a right-in, so it's a little bit harder for him. Let's see how our kicker did this entire season. So 3 of 4, 75 completion rating, 41 field goal long. So the conference game was his longest field goal. Nice. And then 59 to 60 for extra points. And I think that's the one we missed here a couple weeks back because we won't try to do it ourselves. In kick returns, we have 13 of 336, 9 for 228. And in punt return, we have 24 for 326 and 2 touchdowns for Anchor. So he was a great punt returner. I kind of just didn't really do it after that, to be honest. But overall, great team to have. Look at stats-wise how the rest of us line up together. So we are ranked 30 on quarterbacks for passing yards. And for touchdowns, we are ranked about 7th, which is nice. I think interceptions were ranked number 1. Oops. Then for rushing on yards, we are ranked 3. Nice. Okay, cool. And then for touchdowns, we are ranked 2, tied up for 2. Nice. And then for carries, so we have a better overall average on rushing yards. Makes us rank 3. So Micah Ford from Stanford. Yeah, Stanford, 4 years in a row of being promoted. Fantastic job for them. Then receiving yards-wise, we have Vincent Holmes topping us off for Washington. Tyson Turner's in 4th place. Nice. Good job, Tyson. And I think Tyson also has the most touchdowns. Oh, no. But Vendravius Jacobs has the most touchdowns at 24. And we are in 2nd with 20. Nice. And defensively, sacks-wise, we have Calvin Briggs of Wyoming topping out at 12. Nice. And then Dylan Stevenson from Stanford at 10. Cool. So we have 10.5. Where's our boy? And 7 interceptions by Semaj Bridgman. That's crazy. 111 intercepting yards. That's insane. He's going to the whatever. And Jalen Rowe, yay! Our favorite boy from last season. 5 interceptions to get about 6th place. Sophomore redshirt, Jalen Rowe. 89 overall. That's great, man. I love to see him again. Then Jose Cooper on top for Iowa. I believe that's Iowa. 572 yards. And then, Leo. Nice. The junior wide receiver. Yep. Our top favorite boy with punt return yards and 1 touchdown. That's fantastic to see. And I think our boy is at the top with 2. No, Nye Carr with 2. And Angers in 3rd place with 2. So we have 3 teams with all 2. So that's great. Good job, boys. And that's going to do it for all those stats as we end off our current records. Yeah, so Leo is still top for receiving yards at 2210. Love to see that. Cade Lewis, Coach of the Year with Texas Tech Red Raiders, probably because we're the only other undefeated team, so we beat out Wisconsin. Those are our ending stats. Then we have Vincent Estes, Broyles Award, Coordinator of the Year for the OC. Good job, sir. Yeah, because we did a full reload after they went undefeated last year. Then Michael Hawkins Jr. from Oklahoma. Yeah, they were ranked 1, QB, 3.6, 112 on yards and 40 touchdowns to 4 interceptions. A great game, a great year for him. Yeah, we just need to lower our interceptions by a lot, man. So it's our last season, but I just want to see what kind of job offers we have because maybe we can turn out for another season just once before leading up to it. So we have defensive coordinator for the Georgia Bulldogs, LSU defensive coordinator, head coach of Texas A&M, and head offensive coordinator for West Virginia. So we did get offered a head coach position at least, which is nice, but still kind of basic, you know, could be better. Like we started off as an OC, why would we turn around to a DC all of a sudden? We're only third for the Texas A&M position. Staying in Texas though, it'd be kind of fun if they put us back in Sam Houston. So how did A&M do? Oh, A&M are third to last in the Big 12. So yeah, they almost got relegated. So they're trying to stay alive. Gotcha. Yeah, so nobody fun. Yeah, then our DC didn't win anything. Probably could have. He didn't do too bad. Yeah, then let's see the rest of the Heisman winners. Yep, so it was number 6 Washington, Oklahoma. Oklahoma again got third. Well, he stayed in third the whole time. Auburn and Nebraska, so we actually had one wide receiver there. That's pretty good. Then our award winners, let's look at that. Yep, so we have Michael Hawkins Jr. as Player of the Year as well as Heisman. And then were we on the list at all? No, we weren't. Okay. Just see if anybody's on the list. Head Coach of the Year. I'm happy we got it. Our career record is 52-5. Record with Texas Tech 13. Record versus rival 3. Bowl record 4-2. Record versus top 25 10-2. So we need to up our bowl record, man. We fizzle out in the playoffs. That's what we need to focus on. Best quarterback. Best defensive back, Justin Horn is on this list at number 11. Nice job, sir. Our senior. Then defensive back, we have Peyton Morgan at number 10. Strong safety. Excellent. Then best running back, we have Anger barely losing out to Taylor Tatum at number 2. Yeah, he played fantastically. Sorry, Anger. And then for best receiver, we have Tyson Turner rounding out number 11. He should definitely be higher than that, but that's okay. Then best tight end, we have Cameron Dickey hitting number 2. That's crazy. Like, he really brought himself up there. Nice job, Dickey. Then Broyles Award, we have OC and DC. Okay, so they lost out to each other. Gotcha. So that's how they did it. Then it's interesting that Tulane has such a big gap when everybody else is pretty close together. Then best linebacker, we have Justin Horn again, but instead of, he's now in number 6th. Nice job, Justin Horn. Our senior redshirt. Hopefully he'll make it to the NFL with that record. Then best returner, we have Anger hitting number 10 with 2 touchdowns. Yeah, he did pretty good on returning, so nice job, sir. And that's all of our awards. So our All-Americans, we have Anger, halfback, junior, Cameron Dickey, tight end, Elias Davis, left tackle, 2 seniors and a junior for the national first team. Good job, boys. Then the second team and the freshman, nobody in either of them. Okay. So Big Ten, we have Anger, halfback, Tyson Turner, wide receiver, Cameron Dickey, tight end, left tackle, Elias Davis, and then we also have left end, Amir Washington, left outside linebacker, Justin Horn. And then our quarterback's not even on this list at all, which is kind of funny because, yeah, we didn't really bring it. Yeah, Cincinnati definitely deserves it more. And then speaking of, let's push forward. And I will see you guys next week for the NCAA 2027 playoffs as we end off this season.